Welcome to Shomach Shov on the Daf. We're holding in Menachos Daf Peites. The Gemara in the end of Amud Aleph tells us how do we know the amount of oil you need for the nearest of the Menorah, because it says Me'erev ad Boiker, so it has to light throughout the night, and that's the only thing that avoid that happens in the night. The Mashmos Pshuto in the Gemara is that you light the Menorah in the night only. But here we have the Shita of the Rambam Hilchos Tvidim Peragimol, who learns that when you do a tovas neiros, when you clean up the neiros, you have to light the neiros again in the morning. After he says that you light the candles in the evening, he brings the Halacha Yud Beis, Ma'odishura Menorah, what's the cleaning of the Menorah? Kol ner shekalbo masir ptilo, you take away the old wick, v'kol hashemen shebener, you take away the oil, umekancho, you clean it up, v'noisi bo psila acheres, you put in a new wick, and then you put the oil of the right midah. And then he says, what is that tovas haneiros? You light the candles again. So the Bartanura, ready in Maseches Tobit Peragimel Mishnah Tes, he brings the Rambam and says, Plio nizgova beinei. That's a big pella in my eyes. I didn't find any other one who says that you do the adlokas neiros of the menorah has to happen in the morning. All we know is in the night, but now they do it again in the morning. The Rajba in Shuva, Chelakal of Siman Shetes, he brings the Rambam and he brings a few questions, and the Mashmos and the Gemara usually is that adlokas neiros is at night only, not in the morning. And then he says that maybe the Rambam was relying on our Gemara in the previous Amud, when the Gemara said that if the candle extinguished, so then he brings back, he adds oil and he lights it again. When do you light it again? So the Rambam understood he lights it in the morning. He lights it when he cleans up the menorah. So you see from here that in doing that tova there is adloka. I ain't sham that he's marichin it, but in general, most Rishonim learn that adloka is the night only, and the Shittas Rambam seems to be a Shittu Mechudeshes. But in Shais V'Tshuvas Peulas Tzadik Chelik Beis Siman Kuf Peyalef, he brings the Rambam and then he says the Zoyar Chazal and Sefer HaZoyar seem to say clearly that you have adlokas neiros in the morning, and he brings three sources to this thing. One is the Zoyar and the Rai Mehemno and beginning of Parshas Emor that says very clearly that you have madlik the neiros train zimnim twice a day, in the morning and the evening, the time when you have Yichud of Kriyashma. The second raya is the Zohar in Parshas Chukas, and the Avkuf Pegimel Amud Aleph, that says as well that you light the candles twice a day. And he brings a third raya from the Zohar in Parshas Ba'aloischo, the Avkuf Nun, that the Zohar compares adlokas neiros to the Ketores, that it says the Ketores was Baboiker. So the Mashmos over there is you have adloka in the morning as well. So what this Tshuva Sefer is telling us is that the Rambam source is in Chazal and Sefer HaZoyar. And so brings also the Pardes Yosef, also brings that the Rambam seems to be going good with Sefer HaZoyar. And this leads us to an interesting discussion, if the Rambam had the Mesorah of Kabbalah or not. Kabbalah was given from generation to generation. And we know some of the Rishonim did have the Kabbalah, like the Ramban, the Rabbeinu Bechai, and some didn't until it was revealed later. There's a discussion of the Rambam knew Zoyar and knew the Kabbalah or not. Here it seems if the Rambam is working with the Zoyar, Masha, he knew the Zoyar. And I in Sefer Oyer HaMeir, which is the Tshuva Sefer of Meir Shapiro. And then Siman Lamed Aleph. He brings us somebody that was Tameya to say that the Rambam works with the Zoyar. So he says, let me give you a few examples where we find that the Rambam works with the Zoyar. And he brings a few examples, and one of them is the idea of adlokas neiros in the morning. And he continues to say that the time that the Rambam did not know Kabbalah is based on something the Rambam wrote in Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah. And he says there's a Zohar Chodesh that does work with this Rambam. So the whole basis of the fact that maybe the Rambam did not know Zohar, there's no riot to that. In Adarabah, a few places you see that the Rambam works with the Zohar. So Al-Kapanim, going back to our Sugya, with the Rambam here that learns that adlokas neiros was done in the morning, does work with the Sefer HaZoyar that says it clearly. Anyone who wants to sponsor during the Shor Machshava Shiurim, please email shormachshava@gmail.com.